the people in government don't give a shit about us. I see some policies, I see some things that they roll out, and I see the response of our governor, presidents to things that happen. And I'm like, I don't think these people actually sit down in their houses and know what we are really experiencing. If all the men in the world are like me, I feel like a lot of women will not feel unsafe. You cannot close your eyes when you're performing, of course, but you can shut people's eyes off in your mind.
Unfortunately, it was from another station, so it was invalid.
So you cannot afford to be out of money.
Welcome to another episode of 2Gs in the Pod. Thank you for watching, the initial launch. I must say the feedback that we got was really encouraging, fabulous, and inspiring. For that reason, that's why we're back again to do this episode for you and everyone out there listening.
Yeah. Mr. Seun, that was a nice introduction.
Really?
For a minute, I was like, who is this Aristotle sitting down beside me?
I think it's important to check on each other and ask how you're faring here.
I think off camera you checked on me. So this is on camera. I'm going to ask you, well, we've not gone in details into how you are. So, Mr. Seun, how are you?
I'm okay, I'm fine. Just a bit, anxious about delivering, an excellent job.
You're anxious about delivering an excellent job? Okay, what is making you anxious?
I mean, interestingly, I've always fancied public speaking, always fancied driving communication.
Okay.
But for some reason, the cameras and everything,
You get camera shy?
It feels like, a part of me is feeling nervous.
So what if we actually have, maybe we are doing a live podcast show, there's a lot of people at the end and they're looking at whatever you're saying in real time.
I mean, it's just jokes, put that aside.
I know you're that confident.
We'll do what I'm going to do, man. At least I've managed to be a master of ceremonies at the time in my life where, I spoke in front of intellectuals, highly sought after experts and leaders in industries. So, I mean, if I could do that, I can do that again and again and again.
If you believe you can do anything.
Sure, I can.
Yeah. You said something about anxiety. You said you are anxious or something. In actual fact, how do you cope with anxiety?
Okay, for me, I feel like it depends on the kind of, situation you find yourself. But truth be told, I know some of us I've had an experience where, we talked about social anxiety.
Yeah.
And that was even after post-COVID. I knew it was a bit really strange for people coming back into, community and living like they used to, knowing that there was COVID and there's still, the possibility of COVID. But, as someone who has also been actively involved in public speaking and doing things, I'll just, spotlight my experience around, when I nearly moved into the UK, I had an experience that left me, put me in a very crazy state. I must say I was anxious. I suffered from anxiety for a long period, especially when it came to using the train.
Look, man.
So it's not about, I couldn't, aside from moving around, I had an experience where, I bought a ticket from a train station and then boarded from a different station.
Wait, you bought your ticket to move from a train station.
Yeah.
Then you now boarded from another station. I think you need to expatiate a little bit.
So, for instance, you've got station A and station B.
Okay.
Right. I bought my ticket from station A.
Okay.
Ended up, joining the train from station B. So obviously I bought the ticket and then, boarded from a different station. And while I was on the train, this guy came and said, "Oh, ticket time, can you just show me a ticket?" Okay. And confidently, I just gave him my phone and he scanned. But
It didn't work.
he did. So, he asked me gently, you don't have a ticket. I was like, I've got a ticket. Was
that with the Bradford accent? You don't share accent.
This is my.
You haven't got a ticket, bro.
This is my ticket. And then, because I was very confident, like, I bought the ticket.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like I just shared, it was from another station. So it was invalid. The ticket I had was invalid.
Wow.
So this guy, calmly spoke to me. So what, can you tell me your name? Just give me basic details.
He started to set you down before they give you.
What's your address? And I'm like, I'm new in this country and, I don't know my way around. But anyway, this is my name. I'm a student. I just kept giving information, free because I thought I'd not done anything. Bro, he told me, they're going to send you, just a difference in fare. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But I knew I had a ticket and I was really confident, like, I'm going to defend this anywhere. Call me anywhere, I'm going to defend.
Sorry.
I could have bought another ticket on the train.
I don't think
people used to do that. That was 20 some years ago.
Yeah.
People bought tickets on the train, even if they didn't. So, I was like, okay, that's cool. Next thing I got a letter that was sent to me. Oh, you have committed an offense. I was like,
that means you're a criminal.
You get my point, like, what are we talking about? I'm here to study. Why are we committing offense? So this is not the kind of situation I want to, you have to explain yourself why you boarded the train without, a ticket. And, if you stretch this issue beyond this period, you will have to pay for, legal fees and,
God. Yeah.
And like, where are we?
It's a working system.
I had to quickly call my cousin, who is a lawyer in this town. Like, this is where I am. I know that. She was like, just reply them. And I did, like, I'm new in this country where I come from. Even though they were not very, I was like, I'm here to study and I don't expect to be breaking, the law and all of that. Anyway, I replied and then few weeks after I got the response saying you've got to pay.
How much?
It was about £197 or so. Because I had to pay the fare and then the £90. I think it was £90 then.
On your 20 hours
pay. Bro, like I was like, that experience left me, every time I boarded the train, my God.
The man was having boom,
boom, boom. Like, first did I buy from the right station and while boarding from the right station? For a long time, I lived with that.
You probably start checking things over and over.
Yeah, for a long time, I lived with that. But I'm working on.
Social anxiety it's a thing. Almost everyone would go through it. I admire people who have this crazy confidence. Some people have this crazy they're audacious. There's a guy on Instagram now. When he's walking around in Paris, most of the time, he's walking around in Paris, he would always go, I'm American. And his shoes will be doing like, I'm American. I'm like, how does this guy do it? I'm confident speaking to people that I know. If I know you, if I'm comfortable with you, I can speak from now to the end of time. But if I do not know you, I'm sorry. I see ignorant boys. I've never done it in my life. This is a crazy thing. I've never done it in fact where I would see a girl outside and I'm going to ask her, like, how people go about, hey, how are you? My name is this, my name is that. Do you mind giving me your number? I've never done it in my life. I would try that way because I believe in if we are going to have anything together, it's going to be a case of nature will put us in the same space. They would speak, that kind of thing. If all the men in the world are like me, I feel like a lot of women would not feel unsafe because I would never see you on the road and ask you out. Never. If I would even want to cross to the other side, That's one thing I do. Like if I see a woman, especially at night.
That was a trend many years ago, like 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
I remember, we used to write their lyrics. They are toasting lines. Hi, hello, my name is this. I mean, watching around.
Yeah.
You're beautiful. You're this, you're that. My name, people had lies.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people who had lies who walk up to ladies on the street. So you never done that.
I've never done it. And that actually,
you don't have to anyway.
I don't have to.
It's not a good practice.
What do you mean by it's not a good practice? It's just I don't have that confidence. Do you get me? I am anxious sometimes, even when I'm dealing with people, not just women. There's just some things that you would never hear me say just because I'm not confident.
I would say if you are not confident, there's a likelihood that you find yourself in these open spaces, you feel anxious.
But I'm confident with my skills, with the things I know how to do. Do you get me? But once it is like I'm doing it in the context of a lot of people. In actual fact, when I started music in church, I started playing drums. I was very, very young. And when you're playing drums, you don't need a lot of people to actually see you because you are just playing. People are not the face. But then I moved from playing drums to joining the choir because I joined the choir to start singing. Then after that, to becoming the CM and having to be the lead vocalist. And the moment I started singing in church, I struggled at first as well. Because, you have to face congregation and whatever it is that you're doing now is what people actually, just like you're commanding a group of people. And when I started, your voice will shake sometimes, but the confidence grew from there. So I'm somebody who would grow in, maybe if I start asking women out when I see them, maybe I'll grow with that confidence. But for now, it's not my thing. It's not like, but how do you deal with your anxiety when you start having it? I mean, your story is a very special because I know a lot of people actually battle that when they moved into the UK. I know when they moved to the UK, a lot of people battle is where they don't have confidence with a lot of things. I've seen, that thing that happens when people are using Google Maps. Have you done it before?
Yeah. I think
when your destination, you have the map on your phone, you're going like this, but you interpreted the map the wrong way. Now you've passed and you want to turn. Instead of you to just ask people, is it like, where is this building? Then you now keep going in circles. So how do you deal with your anxiety?
I mean, it was, what you have just said was a thing for a lot of people. I mean, especially coming from, Nigeria. Yes, you had the Google Maps. It wasn't 100%. You get a lot of people didn't trust Google Maps. It will lead you to one way and stuff. Dead ends and stuff. But I mean, for me, after my experience, I just, became more conscious of, okay, how do I navigate my way? This is the station, where I'm boarding from. So I was, a bit more conscious and aware of where I was going. But generally speaking, like, for instance, people who have got anxiety for public speaking. I mean, my years of coaching and also speaking, I realized that you just have to be you. And, if you need to take deep breaths to calm down, because I mean, your heart is racing, your mind is racing, so many thoughts in your head, so many, you want to crack this joke at this time, you want to, but you can't do everything all at once. So you have to structure what you want to say.
Yeah.
Structure how you want to, go about introducing the special guests, introducing everyone and, infusing your jokes. So yeah, with that, you can manage your anxiety on stage or
looking at it from the perspective of, from other perspectives, when it's not just public speaking. Some people are just anxious to the point that when they're sitting down in a community or group setting, they don't interact with people. They don't make friends. They're not confident of how to start the conversation. Do you get me? But I feel like for somebody like you who has been through something like that, how would you say somebody can go about that in your own opinion? Do you get me? I mean, I'm battling my own, where I just told you, like, I don't mix with people like that. But how do you do it? How do you kickstart a conversation? Do you have to go to the toilet to go and look at the mirror and react yourself?
So it's not a one size fits all, but I believe that if you're interested in, improving on your communication skills and social skills, you have to also be deliberate. If you're someone who usually want to speak to anybody when you are in a new space, you obviously have to start making efforts from hello, hi. Again, there are people who you will say hi to, they may not, respond the way you expect or the way you thought it through your head.
Yeah.
There are people you say hi to, they're probably busy doing like 1,001 things.
Or maybe they have things
They are texting, they are arranging things. So your hello might not, make any sound in their ears because they are busy doing stuff. It doesn't mean that you have been ignored or neglected or, snubbed.
Yeah.
But you just have to keep doing what you have to do. Hello, hi, my name is, introduce yourself. I don't think if you approach anyone, introducing yourself and engaging as well, like asking, how are you? What do you do? I mean, you're in a similar space.
Yeah.
Probably know the same people, have mutual friends. So, I mean, with that should be able to help you, engage and get positive response. And if you are doing that over time, obviously you start realizing that, no, this is not so,
it's not so bad.
It's not so complex.
I think I'll take from that, honestly. I mean, maybe once I see people now, I start saying, hello, hi, my name is King Whalay, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it doesn't really affect me anymore when I'm performing as an artist. I don't have a problem with
that. I was about asking, like, for you as an artist, how do you deal with anxiety? Because I mean, it's a totally different space.
Yeah.
You've got people expecting, especially, for instance, you've got a performance and you had like I've been to shows where you are the new upcoming artist and you have to start. You have to do shows.
While it is old.
Yeah, whilst we're anticipating the main artist, the key artist. Have you ever been in such position?
Of course. There's no way you have to pass through that stage. Do you get me? I mean, even no matter how big you get, I think coming from my own background of I've been a lead vocalist in church, so I've grown to that extent. But one thing is, as an upcoming artist, you would always go through that. And trust me, it is not something that is easy because no matter how good your song is, no matter how beautiful it sounds in your ear, you are introducing it to people. And there's a new thing about how we write music now. You need to have lines, you need to have something that triggers dopamine in people. Immediately they listen to you to be like, oh, this is good. That is why, let's say your production is neat, your lyrics is also bang on, but it's still a battle when you have to put people in that mood when they are ready to dance. Do you get that? I know a lot of people, once there's a lineup where there's a bigger artist, some people just want to save their energy. Do you get me? So when I get on stage, I'm not the kind of person who goes on stage and start asking people to, turn on your lights, say yeah. No, I'm not going to do that for you. Which is why in my performances, even though I've performed at the club many times, I'm not liking club performances anymore. Because especially it comes with people are dancing already. Then they bring you in. You are not somebody, they all know your song. Then it feels like you are spoiling their energy and all of that. So some people are even angry already. The fact that they want to dance to Shadow Pop, they want to dance to Whiskey, and you are the one not making them enjoy that. They don't want to listen to you. Do you get me? So they don't like it. So
there's a disconnect.
So which is why I would prefer for my performances, I would prefer a setting where there's a band. So it actually looks different and looks real, because if you are coming to see my performance and there's a band, it is not a setting where there are other music other songs you've been listening to. So when I get on stage, no matter how big you are, I believe we all still feel this. There's that little, like maybe for like a minute, when they're calling you on stage, how you have to arrange yourself.
Trying to what do I start with? How do I get people responding positively?
That's why you also need the management. You also need the management. You need A&Rs that would have listened to your music. You need people who are the know of the industry to help you arrange yourself and all of that. Because I think it is, especially if you are coming from the place where we are coming from, where there's really no structure. You have to do a lot of things by yourself. As an artist, you sing your own song. You probably write your own song as well. I'll say 90% of artists in Nigeria or in Africa, actually, we don't believe in songwriting. Like somebody else writes it for you. We don't believe in it as much. So you get, which is something that developed countries actually do. A lot of it from people like Rihanna and so are written by other people. Do you get? So you have to write, you have to go through all of that. But now you have to deliver the same thing again on the stage to people. I'll say one of the things I do is you cannot close your eyes when you're performing, of course, but you can shut people's eyes off in your mind. Yeah, you may have shut
That sounded philosophical.
I'm not trying to be philosophical. It is just what
You can shut people's eyes.
you can shut it off in your mind, because for any way that anybody is looking at you, your perception is also required. You get, so for example, if you go to a place and somebody is behaving erratically or being stupid towards you, your reaction to it would only start when your perception accepts the definition of whatever it is that they are doing. So you get, if your reaction is like, I don't give a about this, you get me, you would always be fine, because you will not overreact or do something out of the ordinary. So if they are performing, that's what I do. I just shut people's eyes off. Like, you start telling yourself, they are not looking at me. Just start imagining like you are just in your own bathroom. Because I believe a lot of people are good musicians in their bathroom. When you're in the bathroom, when you're out in your bathroom.
Most of us are.
Yeah, you start singing and you're like, oh, you feel like you're Shakira, you're Daisy. So when you're on the stage, approach it the same way and you build confidence from there. So that's what I do.
If I were, I'll probably...
You do karaoke now.
I love to engage the audience. I feel that would be my strength. If I were doing music proper, I would want to engage the audience, go into the crowd, dance, old dance if necessary. Just
don't try it as an upcoming.
But I mean, it's difficult, especially when you have that much confidence in yourself, but you're not accepted. I mean, that can shatter your esteem.
You can ruin everything.
Especially when you feel like you've got this song, and from the plays, the whole crowd should go wild.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're performing, you don't even get that energy.
Yeah, you won't get that energy because you don't know you yet, but one day it's going to be your turn. Everybody will go back to all those songs that you released them, because that's one thing I always say. Every artist is amazing because it takes a lot to be creative. If you are an artist who, it's not just music. If you paint, if you draw, if you sing, if you produce, anything that you're doing that has to do with creativity, I believe whatever it is you have created is a masterpiece. There are so many songs that people are sampling now that was never a big thing in their own time. But people have come back to them now because now they are taking inspiration from it. So everything you create is always going to be a masterpiece. But I don't want us to go too deep into the world of music and all of that today.
I agree.
I was going to, when you started mentioning things about when you came to the UK and your experience on the train, and it must have really been a big change. I mean, coming from, I don't want to put Nigeria as a developing country anymore.
Why?
It feels like Nigeria is going backwards when the whole world is moving forward at a different pace.
I think developing explains it all. If you are not there yet,
development looks like a continuous.
Yeah, right.
But I don't think it is.
Somehow, there are efforts here and there.
Well, maybe that's from our government.
Lagos is doing quite a number of things. Free upgrades.
Do you feel like it is the major populace in Nigeria, like Nigerians that are not in power, are the ones carrying the country on their head and not the people in government. Because sometimes I just feel like the people in government don't give a shit about us. I see some policies, I see some things that they roll out, and I see the response of our governor, presidents to things that happen. And I'm like, I don't think these people actually sit down in their houses and know what we are really experiencing. You get, when they go through streets, they have their convoy, they are not really seeing how people are suffering. But I feel like this is Nigerians that are not in power. They are the ones trying to better the image of the country, improve the country. But the people that are in power that can actually do it are not doing it. But that is not even where I'm going. We are going to fix it one day. Maybe we'll get there one day. But I'm talking about the big change that you experience as an immigrant when you just come from Nigeria to the UK. I know a lot of people are moving to the United States as well, to Canada and all of that. How did you cope with that big change, the difference?
I would say for me, it was a case of finding a community.
Okay.
I was lucky to have someone around who welcomed me and, introduced me to other Nigerians. So I had that community at my disposal, and I'm thankful for that. I can't imagine if, I came into this town and I have to leave it alone. Because I lived in a community where you had people, I could easily, once I get out from my house, I'm seeing people.
Like people that you know, that you
people that I know, people that I don't know. I mean, people, I would see people and coming here, seeing the way everybody was living. Like, it's just all.
Are there differences?
Huge differences. Lifestyle, the way people live, we didn't have that, staying outside your house with a group of friends discussing.
Well, you didn't do back home.
There's none of that. Everybody's in their rooms, keeping it up.
Ideally, we allowed people.
So I did, but thankfully, there was just that Nigerian community that landed in their hands and they welcomed me well. So yeah, that really helped me in settling.
I would say it's a kind of different feeling for me. When I got into the country, I flew in through Heathrow, London. There was nobody to receive me. So that one is there. I already booked my hotel before I came in. So I booked my hotel. I got into one of the London taxis. I did not know the place I was coming from is not even far to my hotel. I think they charged me at the end of the trip, it was like £12 or something for something that is supposed to be I think £6 if I took Uber, then regular Uber. So after that one, I slept. Following day, good for me, I have a cousin in London. She came to the hotel to pick me and help me set things up, She took the cash that I had and transferred money she set up my Revolut, transferred money to my account. But that is not even where it is now. That is not where the problem is for me. Because then, I had a friend who we knew each other back from Nigeria. The person is also in Bradford. I was like, okay, can you help me get an apartment before I move to Bradford? I have been saying that since when I was in Nigeria, but unfortunately he said he could not help. Okay, now I'm about to leave London again. Can I just maybe put my stuff with you or stay with you for a couple of days? I didn't have that. I'm not trying to complain. I understand that people have priorities and different things going on in their lives. So I had to get another hotel when I got to Bradford. Literally book another hotel. I got here, I stayed in the hotel for 2 weeks before I could get, that cost me a lot of money, before I could get my apartment. But the apartment that I now got, that is where I'm going. I was the only black person living in it. It is a shared apartment. So we shared, the kitchen is downstairs, like in duplex. The kitchen is downstairs. I'm the only black person living amongst white people. One thing that they noticed immediately from me is when I want to, I cook with pepper and that, and it is always hot, especially if you are frying pepper. But I think the first time they were sitting in, because it was partition, so there's a sitting room and there is the kitchen area, but there's very big open space in between. So I was cooking and they were seated, they were playing games, like they were on the console. But when this pepper started smelling, these people had to run out. They could not stay in that place. That is the difference. Like, I was like, I must see what I cost. And there was a day I was cooking in the middle of the night. Everyone, they were in their rooms. I was cooking around 12 a.m. I don't know why I said to cook in the middle of the night. And I think I was hungry and there was nothing in the fridge. So when I started cooking, you know, when you fry palm oil and you put pepper inside it, and there's a lot of smoke, you just click that the alarm. It first do me like say make I run because before you know it, security just came. Because I was living at the Green. Security just came from the university. Like, what's going on? Blah blah. You know, they'll get the notification at the office. Like, what's going on? Blah. It woke up everybody in the house. I was ashamed of myself because I was like, because of food. Actually, I get to this point, like, but those are the things that comes with when you move from Nigeria. And one of those things that I struggled with as well was, you know, that thing where you have to fend for what you would eat. It is not a matter of, yes, in Nigeria, you have the money, you buy it. But when you get to this place, if you want to start buying food every blessed day, you're going to run into a lot of debt unless you have this endless cash bag that you brought. So then I started cooking regularly, which is something I'm not used to. You know, having to cook for yourself, having to even think of what you're going to eat, which is when I was in Nigeria, it was just a case of mom would do it. Once they cook, I'll just come home and eat something to get. But having to now fend for myself in regards to that, going to the market, God, I think there was a point where I always want to run to London because I was much more comfortable in London. If I go to London, I would stay at my cousin's place. I don't stress myself. She would even buy shayo, buy everything. I would just see. I was getting the feel of home. So I would always miss Nigeria. It is so crazy that I've not been to Nigeria since I've been here. But that difference, there's a way home feels when you are there. We did not appreciate it then, probably. Today, and moving to a new country, it really just kind of changed that. And I think I also struggle with having to pay your rent every month while spending £1,000 every goddamn month on top rent and energy.
That's £12,000 per annum.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth. That's like 24 million. But it is the system. I know a lot of people would say that, like people say in comment sections, especially Nigerians in Nigeria, they would always go, you people are just complaining, but you're earning pounds anyway. You're earning maybe £13 per hour. Some of you are earning like £2,000 in a month. Let's say the average £2,000 in a month. Yeah, it looks good on paper when the money is paid into your account. But by the time your deductibles come, rent, fear, energy.
I think it's in the UK you get to understand MI's song. I mean, slow to enter, but fast. Where money they go, I don't know. I mean, like the debit alerts.
Yeah.
We don't get debit alerts anyway. But you
don't get the alert, but now you by yourself.
You know that every month, you go to the recurrent express that goes out.
And you cannot afford not to be making money. There's no way where, you know, in Nigeria, there's something that used to happen to us where, let's say you don't have a job, you can always rely on family. Or if you lose your job, averagely in Nigeria, if you pay your rent for the full year, you can manage yourself a bit. I'm not saying it is easy to lose your job as well. But you can manage yourself because you've already paid your rent.
Oh, yeah.
So you know that the only thing you need to look for is maybe money to pay for NEPA bills and to eat. And you can still enjoy yourself.
You can always walk to anything to.
You can even owe them money. You can loan
your hand with my phone.
You can loan your bill.
I mean, they know you're available. Then they eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah. And they just keep prices somewhere for each one house a day. And then if you do, you're probably gonna be eating chips and oil.
Let's say because there are food banks as well. I know people go to food banks, but you're unemployed. How do you pay for your rent? Those are the things we are missing. I mean, I love this country so much. I love Nigeria as well. But I'm allowed to create a perfect or an ideal system for myself. I'll take a lot of things from Nigeria and match it with the working system that we have here, because one of the things I value so much in this country is the healthcare system. You've already paid your immigration surcharge, which I know that a lot of citizens in this country, I mean, a lot of white people don't know that that's what we actually do. Before you can come into this country, before you get any visa, you have to pay your immigration surcharge. I think even for visiting visas, if anything above 9 months, you have to pay for your healthcare. I really appreciate the NHS, but coming from where we are coming from, where as long as you are not sick, you don't have any reason to
Zawago here and there.
even hospitals you can walk in as long as you have the money.
Is it unstructured, or I mean, it's not as structured as it is here.
It is, yeah.
But I mean, the response you get, especially when you make that call, because I mean, you're a value added system. You have invested, so you get that prompt response. So the European, people have come into this country, use the services that they will never get in Nigeria. I mean, go for series of tests. And
speaking of that, I've been through, I think amongst all my friends, including you and all the people that I know in the UK, I probably would be the one that's gone to the hospital the most because of my back issues, and that really affected, it is still affecting me, but I think I'm getting better. But one thing is I can tell you my experience from that, and even though this is a working system, but every time I've gone to A&E, I've spent nothing less than 8 hours at least.
Yeah.
Waiting time. That is not easy as well. Unlike in Nigeria, even though it is not structured, as long as you have money, you walk in, they attend to you, unless you go to a general hospital like UCH, Lutz. So all those ones, yes, they can be wait times because they are government owned and there's a lot of people coming in there. But if you go to
if you don't know somebody that knows somebody,
that's why the system does not work. Because you can always bypass it.
Like if you know somebody that knows somebody, or you know somebody,
yeah.
I mean, one phone call will get you
where you want to.
At top of the east.
So you don't spend 8 hours. I know people have expenses in Nigeria as well when they don't have money and they don't attend to them. But if you can afford it, just like we paid for healthcare, you would always get preference. They would always treat you. But in this place, as much as I appreciate the system, the wait time, bro, I've been through this. And when you're in pain, I can barely sit down. At times, I'm tuning in real time pain, shooting down from my back to my leg, and then you have to wait 8 hours. Regardless of, the only thing that would make them attend to you immediately is if you are brought in with a life-threatening injury or illness, and that means you are brought in with the ambulance.
I think there's that common complaint of, if the response in this country is not life-threatening, they just keep saying, have you done this? Have you done this? Try this. But when you say can't breathe, feels like
that's why they have those questions. Yeah. Can you breathe? Can you
get it that quick?
Even the GP said, if you call the GP, you would most likely not get same day appointment. They will book you for next week most of the time. And sometimes I'm like, I'm telling you that I'm in pain. You're telling me that I should come in next week. If I can hold this pain till next week, I don't have any reason to call you. But then the system is made like that.
We'll just giving credit to the system and also spotlighted some of the challenges that immigrants. What scares you the most?
What scares me the most is to run out of money. I don't want to be money focused or money centered, but trust me, in a country where you haven't got your extended family, or let's say even your immediate family, the way you want it. I believe if my dad, my mom, everybody's here, I know you can ask your friends, but you don't know what your friend is also going through. And your friend's salary is probably not enough for your friend. And there's still going to be black tax. You need to support your people back at home. But that is not even where I'm going. But running out of money is not something you can afford. You don't have a job that will give you money at the end of the month. Bro, you are f***ed.
I totally agree with you. I know a lot of people can relate to this, especially you must not run out of money. Getting people to support you in this country, you'll find a good few people, but it's not even that the people that can afford it are mean or wicked. It's just, they are probably in a situation, that they also should prioritize themselves.
That was what I was going to ask you. Like, it is not like people are not good. It is just what they have may not be enough for two. And there's this saying, you cannot be saving somebody in a way where it is going to drown you. Yeah, you're on a life raft. You're trying to save yourself, but then somebody needs your help. But if helping that person would drag you down and would make you drown into the same situation, I don't think it is ideal. So I understand if you reach out to somebody to help you, I understand when they are unable to, even though sometimes it comes like it is harsh, but that is not what they are trying. So you cannot afford to be out of money.
True. Very scary. It's very scary. Yeah. And the way the system is wired, you have to, because if you're in deficit, it affects your credit score. And everyone out there is also trying to build a good credit score so that they can access loans and you just have to have money. Yeah. So speaking about your fear and everyone's fear, especially for those in the UK, could this be the reason why we are having very few businesses or few entrepreneurs as to people who are fixated on 9 to 5, even doing their regular 12-hour shift, 6 times a week or 7 times a week? I mean, rather be at work earning than risk losing what is not enough to pushing an idea.
Well, there's always going to be a risk factor, because how do you try? You can try businesses in Nigeria. A lot of time it is easier for you to say, I want to be a businessman, I want to be a businesswoman, and all you are doing is maybe you've got parents supporting you, you've got your brothers, your sisters supporting you financially. But in this place, I think ideally 80 to 90% of people would think, why do I want to leave something that gives me that constant money that I actually need? Safety. That safety is always going to be a factor. Do you get me? Because how do you want to start a business where there's no source of income? Yes, you can. Even raising money, let's not even talk about raising the money, but let's say you've now raised that money. Businesses are not going to fly right from the scratch. So you have to continue spending from a place where there's no new income. Now imagine that business does not fly and you brought some money. So a lot of people stick to
just, that regular constant pay. Yeah, even if it is 1.5, but I pay my rent, I pay off all the dollars, your credit card. I've got something extra to put aside.
Yeah. So it is always
because of the fact it's glaring, in how things are. In Nigeria, we had a lot of, I'm sure most people that are here, a lot about businesses, back home, not one, not two, they were probably the consultants, they had their jobs, and they were doing other things. But I think here it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not going to be the same, because
it's
a big story, especially for where we come from. Entrepreneurship versus 9 to 5 is always going to be crazy, because you cannot just afford it. Because once you step in, and for people who are already in business as well, it is not easy, especially with all the new laws and all of that coming in place. It's not always going to be easy, but how do you want to manage yourself? That's why we don't have a lot of African owned businesses, which I believe we have to find a way to rise above that challenge. Because if we have a lot of our people in business, it would increase how we employ our own people to our job. Because definitely it is not because you are being, I don't know the word, for the lack of better word, it's not because you are being racist. You would not employ a white person to turn pounded yam at the restaurant.
In a few words, create jobs for, culturally sensitive job roles.
Yes. So you'd always be able to employ your own people, but you'd see that we do not have that currently. How many African owned businesses? I mean, shout out to the people that are trying to propagate that, to get businesses, to get people, to inspire people to start businesses and all of that. But it is not going to be easy, but we still have to find a way to work around it anyway, so that we can employ our own people and give us more chance at employability. Trust me, because you don't want to walk into ideally, it happens when you go to a job interview. If the company is a white dominated company, for example, do you think the people that scoring you, no matter how good, no matter how experienced you are, no matter how you carry your point across, do you think they would give it up? Do you think they would accept you against somebody that they know they can make jokes with? Because that thing, I think, there's that unconscious bias that comes with, if this person gets employed, they may not understand the kind of jokes that I make, for example, because there's always going to be that working relationship that needs to exist, and some people are not able to do it. You know, I've seen the cases where my friends would tell me, oh, they were saying we should go for what is it called, for work meal or to drink or something like that, to go to the pub, and other people say, man, I can't be bothered. But you have to do all those things, because if you don't do it, then the work relationship is not existing. You're just going to work and coming back home, and that limits your options. But just looking at job interviews, anyone that's part of the panel would always look at how, because you must look into the future, most especially the manager that would manage you would be in that interview, and they'll be like, am I going to be able to function properly and easily and be comfortable working with this person? But now imagine if the people interviewing you are of color, just like you, that would give you a higher chance. Yeah.
It's really, you know, not troubling, but I mean, we all find ourselves in this kind of fix where you're profiling.
There's always going to be
yeah, even on the boss, you know, before you sit next to somebody who doesn't look like you, you're already scanned. Once you open the boss, you've already scanned all the passengers and like, I can't sit next to this person, I can't sit to this. And when you see somebody that looks like you, you're like, oh, bro, Alpha, I mean, you're more comfortable, you know, sitting next to somebody that looks like you, and probably it's from your country.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, we really can't, in as much as we like to, you know, say it in a different way, it's really hard for, you know, people who don't understand you, your cultural backgrounds, they just know you for who you are.
Yeah.
They don't know your background. They can't really, you know, pick on things that may interest you.
Yeah.
In as much as the conversation of no to racism, inclusion and diversity, we continue to realize that these conversations are just main conversations. The changes are not, we see it on the page, you know, 2026, you're still seeing, you know, fans chanting all sorts of things to, you know, black footballers.
They make them scapegoat.
You know, making them scapegoat. It's still happening at work, you know, when people lose their jobs for, you know, whatever accusation or allegation, and then the same, you know, fellow staff who are not, you know, of the same race,
We don't understand.
do the same thing, but don't get penalized just fine. So, I mean, there are tons of cases out there, but what can we really do?
Well, let's we cannot just cross our fingers or cross our legs and wait. We'll always try to fight against that, do our best, and let's hope one day it changes. You get? So, I think with that, we can actually end today's episode.
I think my takeaway from today's session is, you know, we did talk about anxiety. The truth is there are tons of people out there who are at some even are very anxious going to their place of work because they are always regularly being threatened or made to feel like your job is not safe. So waking up, going to the office, I'm sure a lot of people feel really anxious. For others, it could be, you know, finding yourself in spaces where you don't have anybody that looks like you, and you are always having to protect yourself and defend yourself in ways that actually.
And also because you want to fit in.
Anxiety isn't something, you know, that is peculiar to just a group of people. It's something, if you look within, you probably are experiencing it. But anyway, I think it will be best for people to take support if they need that. Another takeaway from this is, why businesses are not spreading, especially within our community. We've also looked at it. And the truth is that the type of visa you are limited. A lot of people are, just going for safety. What would not stress me? Just go and do that job and come back home and pay my rent. Which is quite limiting in terms of the capacity and potentials that a lot of people have got. I think somehow we need to change the narrative. We need to also come together as a group and start, pushing ideas.
Yes, of course we need to. Hopefully we will get there one day. And maybe speaking of that one of these days we are going to invite people on to, people that would not have started businesses, they at least run one or two businesses. Let's see what their opinion is and their struggles. Maybe if there's a manuscript that people can follow, it's not like everything's going to be the same. Your struggles may not be another person's struggle, but at least some things are common. Do you get? So if they can share and give us insights about that. So until next episode, just like I would always say, stay safe and stay jiggy.
It's the 2 G's
in the pod.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.